Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we will look at the Puffs and Crosses Lace Shawl pattern. If this is your first time, thank you very much for stopping by. My name is Mirka and I make stitch and pattern crochet and Tunisian crochet tutorials. So if this is of your interest, please consider subscribing. And without further ado, let's dive in. The Puffs and Crosses shawl is very easy, only 4-row repeat shawl, and as you can tell from the name, it has got puff stitches and also cross stitches in the pattern. So originally for this sample I used sheep cheese organican. This is a fingering weight yarn, and however today for the tutorial I'll be using Caron Simply Soft, which is much thicker yarn, and I'll be using 4.5mm hook, and this is for the demonstration because the stitches might not be as obvious in the fingering weight yarn. So let's start with the foundation row. For this pattern I decided to design the shawl with foundation stitches, so we are not going to be chaining, we are going to be working foundation single crochet stitches. So we start with a slip knot, then insert the hook through the loop and we chain 2, 1 and 2. Then we'll go into the first chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. So we've got 2 loops on the hook. So with foundation single crochet, this is in the US terms, it would be foundation double crochet in the UK terms, we need to create the chain and the single crochet stitch at the same time. So this is how we go about it. We will yarn over and pull through the first loop. This creates a chain, yarn over and pull through 2, and this creates the single crochet. And we will repeat this process for the length of the shawl. So at the moment I'm going to make a small sample with the stitch pattern of 4 plus 1. So this is the count for the stitch pattern. So if you'd like to make exactly the same shawl as per the size as in the pattern, you will be doing 265 foundation single crochet. However, for this demonstration I'm going to do much less. So we then go under the both of the strands of yarn of the chain, we yarn over and pull up a loop, and again we yarn over, pull through the first loop to make a chain, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've got now 2 foundation single crochet stitches, and I will repeat this for the length of my sample. Made my small swatch, or the length of for my small swatch. We then turn our work and we can see that the chains here are at the bottom, and then there is a row of single crochet. We chain 2 for the throughout the pattern counts as the first stitch, and we then work double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and that's in the US terms. This would be treble crochet in the UK terms. So we yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. We've got 3 loops on our hook. We then yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and that's double crochet. We repeat this 2 more times. and chain 1. We skip the next stitch and again work 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And this is the repetition or the stitch repeat for the first row, working 3 double crochet stitches, chain 1, skip the next stitch and work 3 double crochet stitches again. We repeat this for the rest of the row, and we then work a double crochet stitch into the last stitch of the row. So we wouldn't chain 1 between the last group of 3 double crochet and the very last stitch, so there wouldn't be any chain 1, so that the beginning of and end of the row are the same. Well, at the beginning of the row we chain 2 and work, and this was followed by 3 double crochet stitches. The end of the row ends with 3 double crochet stitches and double crochet in the last stitch. Chain our work and chain 2 for the beginning of the row number 2. For the row number 2 we will work a puff V stitch into the middle of the groups of 3 double crochet stitches. So this is how we work it. We will yarn over the hook, insert the hook into the middle of the group of 3, yarn over, pull up a loop. We've got 3 loops on our hook. We repeat this 2 more times. So yarn over, insert the hook into the top of the middle stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we've got 5 loops. Yarn over, insert the hook into the middle stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. We should have 7 loops on our hook. We then yarn over and pull through all of these loops. That's our first puff stitch. We then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and we make 1 more puff. So again we need to end up with 7 loops on the hook. So we yarn over, insert the hook into the same space as the first puff, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops, yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 5 loops, and we repeat this 1 more time. Got 7 loops, yarn over, pull through all 7 loops. Okay, and then we continue this into the next middle double crochet stitch of the next 3 double crochet stitches, or the next group of 3, and we again make puff V stitch in there. Don't forget to chain 3 between the puff stitches. This creates a space for where the stitches of the next row will be worked. Okay, so we've got the second puff V stitch. Then I've got 1 more stitch repetition, so we'll work again into the middle stitch. Chain 3, 2 and 3, and work the last puff for my row, like so. And then we work into, this was the turning chain 2, and into the top of the chain or the second chain we will work a double crochet stitch. So the ends are a little bit fiddly. If you chain tightly, it might be a bit of a struggle to get the stitch in there, so I would advise you to work the chain 2, the turning chain 2 slightly loosely, or looser than you would normally work chains, just for the convenience of being able to work the last stitch easily. Okay, so this was the row number 2 where we worked puff V stitches. Again, we turn our work and we chain 2, 1 and 2, and we start working row number 3. And for row number 3 we will work 3 double crochet stitches into or under this chain 3 of the puff V stitches, and we will separate the groups of 3 stitches by chain in between. So this is how we work it. We yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 for the double crochet stitch. We repeat this 2 more times. Once we worked 3 double crochet stitches in there, we chain 1 and we move into the next space, next chain 3 space. Again, we work 3 double crochet stitches in there, 2 and 3, followed by chain 1, and I'm right now on the last repeat, so we work another 3 double crochet stitches into the chain 3 space, like so, and we then work again 1 double crochet into the turning chain 2, so between the last group of 3 and the very last stitch we wouldn't chain 1, so we only chain 1 between the groups of 3 stitches which are on the inside, not on the outside. Again, turn your work around. So this was row number 3, and we are now moving on to the last repeat row, and this is how we go about it. We again chain 2. Remember, we are trying to chain 2 fairly loosely to be able to work into these stitches, and now we are going to be working the cross stitches. So for this pattern I decided to do 2 double crochet stitches and then cross over by 1. So we need to skip the first stitch here. These were the groups of 3, so we skip the first of the double crochet and work 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, like so. So this is first, this is the second stitch, and then we are going to be going back and work 1 double crochet into the first skip stitch. Okay, and what this does, this creates a nice cross over the 2 stitches. We then chain 1, so we are separating these groups of 3 double crochet stitches by chain 1, and again we will skip the next stitch. We're not going to work into the first of the group of 3, so we are starting with the second, and we will work 1 double crochet in this and into the next one, and then we go back into the skipped stitch. Okay, and don't forget chain 1. And now on to the next group of 3, so we skip the first one and we will work the 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 and 2, and cross over with 1 double crochet going back into the first stitch, like so. Then you locate your turning chain 2 and work 1 double crochet in there. And then you turn your work, you would chain 2 and you would start again with the first row. So you would then work 3 double crochet stitches, chain 1, 3 double crochet stitches, chain 1, 3 double crochet stitches, and once you get to the end you would not chain 1 anymore, you would directly do the last double crochet stitch, and then you would repeat a row where you created the puff 3 stitches, then the groups of 3 double crochet stitches into the chain 3 space, and then your crossed stitches. So this is 4 row repeat, and this is worked over 4 plus 1 stitches. So once you've got the desired width of your project, I designed the shawl with the last row being a row of single crochet. So I'm just going to demonstrate that for you quickly. So for single crochet we chain 1, and you can choose whether you would like to work a stitch into the first stitch where you chain 1 or not. I prefer to do a stitch there, so you would insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. You've got 2 loops on your hook, you'd yarn over and pull through both loops, and you would work 1 single crochet into each stitch. Once you get to your chain 1s, you can then decide whether you would like to work into the chain or into the space under the chain, depending on whether you like to work into your chains or not, and then continue working single crochet stitches into each stitch and chain all the way to the end of your project, like so. Okay, once you get to the end, don't forget also to work a single crochet into the top of the turning chain 2, otherwise the top would look a bit unfinished. Okay, like so, and then you cut your yarn, pull it through, and there you go. That's your puff and crosses lace shawl. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Please let me know in the comments below what you would use this stitch pattern for. Would you use it for anything else other than the shawl? Have you come across these stitches, this combination of stitches? Let me know, and I'm looking forward to the next tutorial. Bye bye.